Hello, and welcome to another fun live stream. Good to see so many people already here, and I love that it's starting to get to that point where the same faces are coming in, so it becomes like a little fun community that we're building here just in the live streams in themselves. So
every single time I see Sarah Chalk in the comments,
she's first in. I love it.
Always confuses me.
I'm not confused anymore. I just love it. I just love that there's another Sarah here. Hello to, we've got a few members that are already jumped in, and I've already lost track of all the comments because we've been talking. I've been on here already, but Terry, good to see you here. Welcome in. Oh, coffee, yes, welcome in. Thank you. Got a Pokemon cup today. Ooh. Perfect, love it.
Got to catch them all.
Got to catch them all. It needed more caramel. Well, now it's got caramel. I love caramel in my coffee. On that, not the level of caramel that I get when I get a coffee in America. I watched them at Starbucks once, and they put like 4 pumps of caramel in it, or caramel, whatever you want to call it. And I was like slightly horrified. It's like, no wonder it's so sweet. 4 pumps. So no, 1 pump is enough for me. And
the crazy thing is that 4 pumps is like the default, and you can actually get more.
That's the crazy thing for me, is that was the default option. Nessa, hello, good to see you. And also Caitlin, always good to see you in our streams. Em is here as well. Do you know what I love is that we're starting to see different colored pencils next to the names. For those who don't know, the pencil slowly changes color the longer that you're a member. So I think it starts green. Does it, Shane?
I have no idea. I know that I have the highest.
Whatever colour Shane is
because I'm a member.
Yeah, so why don't you leave you're not logged in.
Well, I can leave a comment, but it's going to come up as you.
As me. That's not the point. So I believe Caitlin is probably one of our longest standing members at the moment, and Caitlin's pencil is purple. We're heading up. I believe it'll eventually get to teal, but we're not there yet. It's like slowly following the rainbow gradient, going from either, I think green might have been the first, like a light green, and then it moves to yellow, and then it slowly blends through to the orange and the red, and then the pink, and then the purple, then it'll probably be blue, and then it'll be teal at the end. So there's a few more pencils to collect. So really cool to see so many people joining us. And Moscow isn't here today. I don't know where he is. We did some rearranging, and he found a nice new sunny spot downstairs where he was sunbaking this morning and just sitting on the table.
7 pumps for a large iced coffee from McDonald's. 7.
Oh no.
That's like a cup of caramel with a little bit of coffee.
It's just caramel at that point. It's just, oh no, I can't do it. I don't get it. Cajun Hawk has also been here quite a while. That's like a reddy pinky colour. I don't know if that's the one away from purple. There might be one in between. I'm not sure. But anyway, that's a bit fun. Moscow is around. I don't know where he is. So if you really want to see Moscow, flood the chat with the cat emojis, and we'll see. He might eventually show up. We'll see how that goes. Today I wanted to try something different, as I often do. But I also wanted to try something familiar. So we are colouring. And I actually initially was thinking about, do I want to do some bold and easy colouring? Because I haven't really done a lot. And that's a good sort of like anyone can do it kind of colouring. But you know what's weird is that the whole point of the bold and easy is it's supposed to be more relaxing and take the pressure off. And for some reason, I feel an immense amount of pressure in starting a bold and easy page. I think it's because even though it started simple, people on like Instagram and TikTok especially, Colour Talk, and I don't use TikTok a lot, but I was on there this morning, taking it to such a level, and I could probably do it, but it was intimidating.
Are they doing like realistic and hard?
It's not necessarily realistic, it's stylized, but I was like, but I haven't done that, and doing it live is like a bit of pressure. Doing it live and doing something new that other people are already really good at is like ultimate pressure. So I was thinking about, how do I want to do this then? And what is it that stresses me out about this? Because if it stresses me out, it probably stresses other people out as well for something that's supposed to be relaxing. And then this morning, so I was on TikTok. I where are my words? Generally are not, that's not a sentence. I don't often go on TikTok, is what I'm trying to say. But I was on there this morning and I thought I would have a look at Colour Talk and see what's been happening, because there is like a whole community of colouring book people there and I'm not very active in that. So I had a look and I discovered this new thing that people are doing called chaos colouring. And I was like, oh, this is up my alley. Now...
That sounds relaxing.
Well, so the concept of chaos colouring is kind of just like permission to go outside the lines, but they very much make a big mess and then they come back and kind of work it into a page. What it reminded me of is some of the mixed media stuff that I was doing a while back, except that it wasn't mixed media, it was just the messy sort of approach. And I felt like the just colouring outside the lines for me was a bit like, that's the chaos colouring. But it also made me think of this other thing I've stumbled across recently on Pinterest in a completely different niche called dopamine decor. Now, dopamine decor is this concept, and I've like told like multiple people since then of this is, have you heard of this, right? It's, the look of dopamine decor is kind of like if you opened up a box of rainbow markers or pencils and just threw them across the room and everything they touched changed to the colors that they are. And there's like it's chaotic and colorful. And when I think of dopamine, my first instinct is like dopamine detoxes. So dopamine is like overstimulation and therefore it's bad. But actually what dopamine is happy, good feelings. Of course, when we get that from our phone and scrolling, it's not a healthy balance of it, right? But the concept of dopamine decor is to create a space that makes you happy. And it generally is full of very bright colors. And actually, when I look at a lot of them, I do feel kind of overstimulated, to be honest. So it's not a relaxing thing. It's almost like an overstimulation of joy is kind of how I would describe dopamine decor. And I was thinking about that. And I was thinking about this chaos coloring. And I was thinking about some of the stuff that I've been doing lately in just trying to create, and a few things that I can't show you yet. I have one that I've shown my members in our Discord that I've just finished this portrait of someone, and I've never done a mixed media portrait ever, and I wanted to have a go, and I was really happy with how it came out. But one of the things I liked about it was that I started just by scribbling, the chaos coloring method really, a bunch of highlighters. And then I just kept adding layers. And it was right at the end that I came and then started bringing in the details and the whole thing came together. And it's actually one of my most proud pieces I've ever created. I can't really show you because the chances of the person that I'm giving it to seeing it if I do it on a live stream is actually too high. But you'll see it in a couple of months maybe.
Don't you say like whenever you do a new art piece, you always finish with this is my new favorite?
It's true though. I mean, and that's a good thing, right? If everything you finish is like your new favorite, it means you're obviously like trying new things. But the thing I loved about this piece is that I enjoyed the whole process, even though I had the pressure of this being a gift for someone and it being my first time doing a mixed media portrait, and the fact that I didn't have a lot of time to do it. And if I didn't get it done, like I had a lot of restrictions on me for this, and yet the process for me was actually quite relaxing. And part of it was that embracing that messy middle more and actually like making the chaos and then taking that and turning it into something. And so I want to try that today. I want to try combining these different ideas of like mixed media, but like, let's not start mixed media. Let's just like think about that approach combined with the dopamine decor, combined with the chaos coloring. I don't know if it like this just falls into chaos coloring or whether we need to give it a new name. Maybe it's dopamine coloring. I don't know. But I wanted to figure out what is my version of this that makes coloring really fun and liberating, but still, and actually also kind of forces you to let go of perfectionism a lot, because that's something I've struggled with. And that's what I love the most about the mixed media stuff is that you kind of have to make a mess for it to look good, which means you have to put a color somewhere that you go, that doesn't feel like it should go there, but I'm just going to do it anyway. And then finding the art in the chaos. So it's unpredictable. It takes the control away, but it also means that you're kind of discovering the art piece through the process. And I actually think it's a really good way to make coloring therapeutic again if you've been someone who's felt like the pressure's climbing. So I'm really excited to have a go today.
So are you going to colour in your wall?
No. So everyone always asks about the wall. I know. And fun fact is that we're actually in the process of building a new studio. So this wall's going to come down at some point. And there's a part of me that goes, wouldn't it be great before I pull it down to color it? But then the part of me that needs to sell this house afterwards is like, that's a terrible idea. Because this is actually a removable sticker. And it'll be fairly easy to just do a quick repaint of this wall. It's not black paint, it's a sticker. A lot of stickers. There's a video about it on my channel of building 2 videos because it took a long time. Whereas if I color it, then it will be a pain to remove. So I'm actually not going to color it, much to the disappointment of many, many people. But I also think our new studio is going to need a bit more color in the back wall because I just think it'd be nice for a change. Something fun to look forward to. So we're not doing bold and easy is part of that. We're actually not doing bold and easy, but I've been inspired by the trend. And part of why I initially wanted to do bold and easy is because I actually wanted to properly try the new Honolulu Plus markers from Olo. Not Olo, Ohuhu. Don't just say the wrong name, say a competitor name, Sarah.
Good thing this video is not sponsored because they'd be asking for a refund if it was.
Yeah, that's funny. They did give these to me for free, but this is not a sponsored video. But I opened these in the last live stream we did, and I tried them, and my initial reaction was actually disappointment because I panicked and thought that they were changing all their tips, because these tips are like a Copic tip, which is also like the Olo tip. And that's really cool. But the original Ohuhu markers, which are usually up on my back wall, but I have them all here, I love these tips, and they're different to these tips. And I think that both have their pros and cons. So my initial reaction was, oh no, they're replacing the tips. But actually then a lot of you in the comments commented and told me that, no, this is a secondary, this is the Plus series. This is not replacing the other set. I thought this was their new renumbered set, but no, this is like a premium range. So in that case, I think this is wonderful. And so I kind of wanted today try them a little bit more because I only just swatched them briefly in the last video and didn't actually get a chance to use them. So I want to use them. I'll probably end up using a mix of both because I don't have that many colors here, but I thought that could be cool. So to do that, I wanted the proper marker paper as well. And I've also got the Ohuhu pencils that you can tell I have not opened. And I thought, well, if I'm going to do Ohuhu markers, I might as well try the pencils as well. I really should have asked Ohuhu to sponsor this video. I'm trying all their products. And I thought we could actually find a page in Vibrant Wilds. I want to pick something a bit simpler so I can hopefully get through more of it today. The other benefit of what I hope is this style of coloring is that it might be quicker. I don't know, we'll find out. But I've already picked a page and I've actually printed, because when you buy Vibrant Wilds, you get the printable version as well. So I've actually printed this page and made it very slightly smaller just to help with time today. I thought we could try this because I thought this is just a really simple coloring page that we can try. And I feel like it'll be pretty forgiving. You know, if you're doing stuff like skin tones and that, it's a little bit harder if you do try to do like a mixed media sort of approach. You still have to define some areas to a point. Whereas I feel like this, worst case, what I see happening here is worst case, it's just a chaotic pattern underneath and the black lines on top. Is kind of as bad as it can get, right? So I figure it'll be fun to have a go. So this is what I'm thinking. There are so many comments here. Wow.
I've been like half reading the comments, but I'm also doing like camera stuff, so sorry.
Yeah. So Spooky Puke has pointed out if you're giving the things for free, then it's a sponsorship. Yeah, look, to be clear, when they give you something for free, you need to tell people they've given it to you for free, right? That doesn't mean this is a sponsored video. There is no other money in this video. And quite frankly, like, I'm very honest about products, and I tell companies, if you send me the products, I'm going to be open and honest about them, because I would rather even just spend the $50 on this myself if them giving me that means I have to lie about their product. Like,
is that why Crayola haven't sent you anything recently?
Crayola after the video we just did. Do you want an update?
Yes.
So, since I last spoke to Crayola, interestingly, the binder that I created, and look, the big binder was mostly for show for the video. There's legitimate work in it, but the actual thing that I prepared for them was about 30 pages. It's more like this big. That was after Shane suggested that I pull it back because it was a lot. I was never intending on giving them that giant binder. It was probably about this, like it was still 50 pages. It was a lot. Anyway, we got down to 30 pages, and in the meeting, I was going through that with them. But then I said at the end, well, I'll send you this. And they actually said, please don't. Said, please wait for us to ask legal if you're allowed to send it to us, which is a bit weird. And anyway, I've followed that up since. I've now sent them a link to the video to 3 different people that I have the contacts for, and I have asked them again.
What did they say?
I asked them again, can I send you the report? They haven't replied. That was a week ago. So my next Crayola video, which will probably come next year, I do want to wait until they release whatever it is they're doing. I don't know. They've said that they're doing something. But it'll be interesting whether this is, hey, they decided to let me work on stuff with them, or whether this is me just doing the second review of how they've still let us down. I don't know. I know there's a lot of people that were theorizing that I was actively working on them with them on the new range. Well, I haven't heard from them since the video, so make what you will out of that. Interesting, very interesting. Yeah, I probably shouldn't say much more. I've got to be careful. I don't actually want to get sued by Crayola. But I do think that there were a lot of people in that video as well that commented that I was basically doing work for them for free. To be clear, I wasn't doing it for Crayola. I was doing it for you. I was doing it because so we need to hold brands accountable.
You gotta love the conspiracy theories.
Oh, some people are like, this is like some big sneaky PR thing and that they're paying you off to like secretly do this. It's like, no. Oh, imagine if they were paying us. Oh, we actually pretty much say no to any brand that has offered us sponsorships for a long time, because I'm not saying I would be against it, but I really want to make sure it's a good fit, and I want to make sure that if that does happen, that there's still a way for me to very realistically review things. And that's more important to me. That's more important to me, that we do the right thing and look after you and give you the best resources and connect you with the right brands and all that kind of stuff. That it's not worth it to sell my name. And I mean, that's all good to say. Obviously, everyone would say that about themselves, but like, I mean, if you've known me for a while, you also know that to be true. So, all right.
Cajun Hawker said, Crayola has its place. It's just not in my art supplies.
I like the Crayola Super Tips. I mean, I don't like that I don't have labels, but I actually, when I'm looking for a water-based marker,
You often steal the kids' ones.
I do. I had to hunt them down. I've now got, because my ones I did put numbers on, they're here. So they're literally on my set. That's how often I grab them. I put numbers on mine. So the other day I went through the kids' supply and found all mine. Because I let my kids have these because they're good markers. I actually donated all my other, like the Montmartre ones and a lot of the other double tip ones. I've donated a lot of them, but I kept these. So just saying. All right. I think we should get into this because I'm going to keep talking no matter what, and at least we can talk and colour at the same time. So, I've got some extra paper. So, I've actually picked 3 different colours, 3 different colour palettes from our volume 4 that is coming soon with the colour cubes. So, these are the 3 that I'm thinking would really fit this dopamine style of just like lots of bright colours, lots of fun. And from these, I think I'm actually leaning towards this one. I love this. This is from the Cyberpunk collection that we've got. Wait, are we supposed to tell them about that collection yet? Whoops. There's a Cyberpunk collection coming. I've always loved the blue and the pink, like clash of light, but that's also like a bit more of like a lighting technique. Whereas I kind of want something that I can be a bit more random with. And I think part of the key to making this work is going to have all light or all dark, not the variety between light and dark. So this one could be a better option then, which is kind of like a pastel rainbow from our pastel collection. I'm actually leaning towards this one. This, I don't know if this one's from the pastel collection too. Probably, because the numbers are similar. I feel like it's still sort of quite a broad thing, but it is also like a pastel version of some of my favorite colors. Pastel in general is actually me stepping out of my comfort zone a bit because I don't tend to color with pastels. But just looking at how these, even in this picture, the way that the blue is kind of like reflecting in a few places, and I feel like even just the chaos here gives me hope that the chaos will work. Whereas this one, they're all in a nice order, so I feel like if I mix them up, will it still, I don't know, I'm overthinking it, but this is the one we're going for today. So I'm going to just grab some of these markers. I hope that the new Ohuhu have some colors that will work for this. Let's have a look. They don't have to be perfectly matched, but we do have at least a blue and a pink, and then maybe some of these colors. I do want to, oh, that one maybe not. Depends how dark that is. That's probably a bit dark. I don't know if we'll want like a, that's way too yellow as well. I'm just thinking if I layer a yellow on the pink, but I probably better off just to go back to my other set and just find a yellow that's closer because they have a bit of green in them. But first I want to show you the difference, and I did a bit in the last video, between these, which are the new ones, right? The beautiful new Honolulu Plus versus the old Honolulu, which I have all over the place here, which is these ones. So I am going to just grab out, actually most of my pastels are kind of all together, so this should be fairly easy to grab. I've got a bunch in the box here.
Aussie Crafter has joined the party.
Hi, Aussie Crafter. Where's my swatch decks? I know, but the thing is, the swatch decks doesn't have the new ones. The swatch decks, actually I haven't done a swatch decks for my Ohuhu yet because I wanted to sort them out first. There's so many. But yeah, that's no excuses, hey? All right. Now, this is way more markers than I need, but it's chaos coloring. No, it's dopamine coloring. I just want to see what colors I've got. They all kind of look right. It's sort of starting to head a bit more green, but not too green. That's probably actually not a bad match. Might be easier to match it to the back. That's pretty close to that actually, but that's probably the most green that I want to go. I think if I go any more green, well, that's just not even pastel. This is the problem. The lid's deceptive. All right, I think we've got some good options here to work with. Oh, that one works too, I think. If I want, I don't know if that one's just old or if it's actually just light, because that seems washed out. It doesn't seem light, it seems like washed out. That's okay, it might come in handy to have a bit of both. Okay, so I've got a bunch of colors, but I wanted to show you what is the difference between the new and the old. Not the new and the old, sorry, the normal and the supreme, the plus. Okay, so the biggest difference is actually the marker tip, right? It seems like everything else is the same, but this new marker tip allows you to do more of that flickability, the flickable stuff, right? So if you're blending two colors together, see how that really tapers off when you flick? Whereas the old one, that is the old one, just checking. Yeah, see how it's actually not, like I'm still able to work with it, but it's not tapering off like the new one is. Now I am, well, I need to work out how to not get, I need to work on my blending still. I don't use markers enough, but this one allows you to taper off more, which allows you to blend two colors together more easily. So as an example, where are two similar colors? This one. Yeah. So if you wanted to blend two colors together, it's a lot easier with the premium brushes, right? These colors are almost the same, so that was probably a bad example. And I've probably overloaded the paper. Terrible blending today. The video that I did with Kat on using markers, and we did some realistic drawing. That's a lot easier with markers like these new markers. Where these will let you down, and I might need Shane to get the side camera for this, where these will let you down is actually doing more of your big block shading coloring. So and this is something that Jazza actually showed me, and I thought was really clever. So the old marker, when you push harder, see how that tip still stays on the paper? Which means if you're trying to color in the lines, you can really like push, and you'll always be able to tell where the edge of your marker goes. The new ones, and this is what happens with the Copic markers as well, when you push, that end comes back up. So if you're trying to color in the details, you have to use a really light touch, because as soon as you press, see how where that's coloring is not the tip of the marker, right? So if you're heavy-handed, you can see there, because I've pushed it down and then dragged it, you can actually see the end there, how much goes back up. So if you're heavy-handed, these won't work as well for you. But if you have a light touch, and if you're wanting to do more feathering blending, then these will be better. So it's just a different technique. It's not really one is better than the other. They both just have different approaches. The new premium brush is pretty much an exact replica of the Copic brush, which is also the exact same that the Olo brushes have, whereas the original Ohuhu is their own brush, and actually I think the best brush that does that out of all the brands that I've tried. That's why they're one of my favorite markers. So I actually think that's a really cool addition to the set. Whether you realize when you're grabbing them, you'd probably want to keep them separate. Like they're meeting two different markets, and I actually really like the fact that they didn't change all the markers, because that for me would have been really disappointing. I feel like their original brushes are really good and they shouldn't change those. But this does cater to that new audience, and I think it competes better with Copic. So I don't know how much they are though. So I'd be curious if anyone knows the pricing of the Plus. Are they priced higher? I would assume they're priced higher than their normal ones. Someone's beeping outside.
One of the members has worked out where we live.
Oh, hope not. So yeah. That's the difference.
I think you've been called out in the comments before when you said that you had too many markers. That is apparently blasphemy. You're not allowed to say that.
Did I say I have too many markers?
You said this is way more markers than I need.
Oh, I meant on the table. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, realistically, I'm the one who does grab the 50 different markers. So yeah, I probably shouldn't say that. Now, let me I'm going to make sure I have paper underneath, but I am actually going to do a little extra thing that I do sometimes, and that is tape this to my table, because it just allows me to put a bit more pressure and whatever without worrying about it moving. And it means, I don't know if we're recording our top camera. Maybe I should put this on Color Talk. I don't know. Let's have a look. The Ohuhu acrylic pens, someone mentioned them. Now, I don't actually have them. I went looking for them today because I do feel like actually some acrylic paint pens is a good sort of second part to this, and it's something I'd like to try. So I've pulled out the ones that I have from Artex and from Corinne, because I don't have the Ohuhu ones. So maybe that's something I should get Ohuhu to send me, because I do want to do a paint pen comparison early next year in actually testing all the different markers around and seeing what we come up with. All right. So just washi taped it on. Whoop. Put these away. So the colors that I've got here, we're trying to sort of match these. I've pretty much got pastels. Now I would always recommend just having a swatch sheet available just to test your colors, because you never know. The point of a project like this is that you kind of don't need to, because it's supposed to be freeing and just go for it. So basically what I'm going to do is kind of just scribble. We're just going to add blocks of color in different places. When I'm doing something like this, I do think it's worth, like if you've got, say, a reference like this, keeping a limited color palette is a good thing. And trying to keep similar colors together will probably help the whole thing look a bit better than if you did, say, the green hard against the pink, because they're on opposite sides of the color wheel. So they will clash. They might even make a bit of like a gray. So where possible, try to sort of use the other colors in between. But I mean, the point of this is to not create too many rules. Now, I am going to go out of the lines here as well.
That's looking very chaotic.
I mean, this first bit is pretty much what people are doing in the chaotic colouring, right? Is just don't follow the lines, just go everywhere. I think using a limited colour palette is, I mean, that reduces the chaos, but I guess it's about that balance of when you create a restriction in one area, in this case the colours, you can then be a bit more chaotic in another area, like colouring in the lines. So I'm not actually swatching any of these colours because there is a bit of just sort of seeing how they go. It's okay to have, I mean, there I just did exactly what I said not to do, of like putting two colours right next to each other, but it just means you won't be able to blend those. And I mean, I'm not really thinking about blending. There might be some areas that I should maybe just, honestly, the point of this is that you just do what you want. So there'll be some that I overlap with similar colours and therefore can do some little blends, and there's some that will just be a hard contrast against each other. It's permission to scribble. Permission to be messy. And means you can create art a little bit quicker, which is good for a live stream because we never finish the projects. Now these are all very pastel so far, so we might afterwards come back and bring in some more intentional dark colours. I'm not sure if I'll even do that with these or whether we'll do that more with the like paint pens or pencils. I don't know, haven't really figured that part out yet.
How do you store your alcohol markers?
I try to, so I've got this beautiful big set here that often lives behind me that I really like. These are trays from Crafter's Companion. They actually separate, so you can buy as many as you want. I have to say, I do not recommend doing what I've done and attaching them side by side. They are a nightmare and it feels like they're gonna snap and you can't ever undo them. So with all the new sets that I've bought, I just stack them up. I never stack them beside each other. You can just put them on a shelf beside each other because this is a pain to move and I always worry that it's gonna like break or fall or something. So I don't recommend doing what I did, but I do like it. All right, so now I'm just filling in some gaps. Look at that, we've already coloured the background. It's kind of like the underpainting concept at this point, but the underpainting is chaos. All right, this looks like a bit of a stronger colour. Let's have a look. Okay, so we'll come back to that one. I think I have a bit of an idea of how I want to approach the next layer. I just want to come back and just fill in any extra gaps that I feel like could use a bit of extra.
So question, I'm not sure if you know, Sarah, is there a difference between acrylic gel pens and regular gel pens?
Well, acrylic would suggest that it's a paint. I've not come across acrylic gel pens. Maybe send me a link after this. Who's asking? That I would, you got me curious. That's a darker colour, I'll come back to that. Yeah, I don't know. All right, so because this is darker colour that I've already gone in with, I'm just gonna be a little bit lighter with this one and not do it too many places because I don't want to overpower the pastels. I like the pastel that we've got going. Okay, I think first layer's done. So where we're at now is kind of the chaos part of this colouring. It's actually, there's a potential for this to almost come like, if you just took this and then built up the same areas in different colors and like added a bunch of white highlights, you could almost create like an iridescent look with this kind of color palette. But that's not sort of what I'm wanting to do. I want to do a bit more. So what I want to do now, I'm just thinking, is actually get the same range but in the slightly darker colors. Probably not necessarily the dark version of the colors as much as just these, because these are quite strong already. So I might need to swatch out for these. So I've already got these two.
And that concludes the stream. Thanks for joining.
Now, I know some people want to know all the colours that I'm using. For your benefit, I'm just going to say, just vibe with it. Just go for it, because if you're trying to match every colour, like that in itself becomes going against the concept that we're trying to work with here. Like, just trust yourself and just pick colours that feel right. All right. That's probably getting, well, actually that's pretty close. Yeah, let's bring that one out. I'm just going some of the slightly, like, more middle range versions of these colours. Whoa. And you know what? I actually think Dopamine colours is, for me, a chance to bring in some neon, which I always avoid. If you've watched some other stuff, I generally say that I hate neon. It's winning me over. But it's winning me over used sparingly in a chaotic sense of colour. So this feels like the chance for the neon to come out. So, what don't I have? I don't have any blues. Well, I mean, there's not really blue in, there is that darker blue. I've got something like that. Well, that's
Rhonda
way
has
too
joined
dark.
the stream, one of our members.
Hi, Rhonda. Oh, that's a nice, that's not in our palette, but it is kind of a darker version of this. So we're going to pull that out. Okay. Let me think. No, I still need some of this blue. What have we got? I keep saying let me think as if no one's letting me think, but it's just me talking to myself. Too dark. Shouldn't be that hard to find a blue. That's pretty good. All right, so I've got some pretty full-on colors here that look quite gross with each other on here. But what we're gonna do, I think, is use some of these to sparingly kind of plot out where some shadows might go, but in a really loose way. I don't know if that makes sense. And I'll probably try and stick over similar colors so they don't completely clash. But like, I'm talking about like behind the things here. And I will be a bit more careful with this. We're not going completely out crazy anymore. I don't know. I'm making this up. Maybe if you're coloring along, as always, skip ahead, make sure what I've done doesn't look terrible before you copy it. Maybe I should still go a little bit chaotic, otherwise it's kind of defeating the point of this whole thing. So let's still just be a bit rough. Add some shadows around. Even some of the ones underneath are going to be a bit lighter in general.
Aussie Crafter has said that those lids are very misleading.
Yep. You know what solves that?
Tell me.
Swatch tags. Alright, so some of these, see how I'm kind of roughly colouring darker where the shadows kind of fall, but I'm still not worrying about the lines. So like these leaves on top shouldn't have any shadows on them except for the bit that went out of lines. The ones underneath them have a shadow just sort of under that. And then I'm kind of just doing that same thing. So the leaves underneath are going to have more just chunky shadows on them. And I'm again being really sort of just not precious.
Heather has left a comment saying that she's pre-ordered the whole set and will have 6 cubes on her shelf soon.
Oh, wow.
And they've really helped her with ADHD, OCD, brain and blockages.
I'm glad that they've been helpful. And yes, we do have some new cubes coming soon. If you are in our Facebook group or our YouTube membership or the email list, you will have already got a bit of a peek at what's coming. If you haven't, maybe it's a good chance to jump on any one of those things. I have been working for, it's been almost a year now, on what is going to be a second edition of our colour cubes. I've been looking at all the feedback that everybody has given on the first ones, and I have been making updates to our volume 1 and 2 to make them better. Do you want to see one of the updates actually? So one of the things that I've done is added categories. So when you get one of your second edition colour cubes, now I mentioned volume 1 and 2 because I've made all these changes for them, but actually at the same time I'm also releasing Volume 3 and Volume 4. So this is actually from Volume 4, which is where this color palette is from today. And I have created these tabs with all these categories and a nice little instruction thing here. But you've got these things to help you divide all of your color palettes and to help you more quickly find them. So like here, when I was looking for this, I've jumped straight to the pastel category and I've found this, and then I was able to pull it out really quickly. And then if I flip it over, it's also got the numbers on the back, so you can really quickly get your cards back in the right order, or however you want to do that.
Whoever thought of that is a genius.
So this is our category tabs. They don't fit in the original design, so we did have to redesign some other things as well to make these fit. A lot of that, even for our email list. Haven't actually revealed all the changes yet, but they're very exciting and there's a lot coming. And if you have any questions, please wait till launch. We're launching on October 24. We are giving lots of hints before then. You know what? We should give the live stream, Shane. We should give them access to the pre-launch. Like, I need to tell you that the information is not all out yet. So what you see on the pre-launch page is not the full story, and there is more coming. And if you have questions, you are better to wait. Do not buy them unless you're confident. This is not the thing I should be saying. Don't buy my product. But honestly, like, I want to make sure that people are buying it because they want it and they're ready for it, not because they feel forced to. So we do have more information coming. The launch is coming. If you're someone who knows already that they're going to want it all and doesn't want to wait for launch, you can get the second edition, Volume 1 and 2, and the new 3 and 4. You can pre-order them now so that when the launch happens, you'll be the first in line to get them. There is also a whole new digital experience coming. We've shared a little bit about that on the landing page. So Shane's just popped there, or I have, mysteriously without touching, put the link there.
Use the force.
Use the force. Bam, here you go. So we're actually also working on a completely new version of the color catalog, because there were a lot of things about that I wish I could add, but because it's a PDF, there's limitations. Like, the most requested thing since day one that I would love to add is a back button, and yet I can't, because you can't do that in a PDF. So we've rebuilt the whole thing, and it's going to be a completely new online experience. The color companion that at the moment takes about 40 hours to add a new brand, we've found a way so that you can actually potentially launch it with like 20 to 50 brands off the bat, and we'll be able to much more quickly add new brands. And so that means it's going to be far more useful. We've even got the ability in it, and I think this is on the landing page, a little bit of details. You'll be able to take like the markers that you own and match them to other markers in the website. There'll be conversion tools and stuff like that as well. So it's a lot, and I probably already said too much, but I love sharing. And there's going to be more info coming. I know in like our Facebook group, people have sort of started to panic that it makes their cube obsolete. That's not the intention at all. Everything that's out there is just as good as it always has been. This is all bonus. And for anyone who hasn't bought yet, might be worth waiting a little bit and enjoying the new stuff. So it's going to be exciting, but there is a lot.
I've got my finger hovering over the mute button just in case you go to reveal too much.
There's a lot of new stuff coming, and it's very exciting. And I am confident everyone's going to be really happy when they see everything I've been working on. I've poured my heart into this, and I did in the original product too. But the original product was based off palettes that I made back in like 2017. Like they're not new palettes. So I wanted to use the chance to really update it and create some new stuff. And I mean, you've seen just the palettes I've shown you here. Some of the new ones are really pretty. So I wanted to bring some more, even into Volume 1 and 2. We've made some updates, just like when you update a second edition of a cookbook. You take some recipes out, you put some new ones in. We've done a little bit of that as well, because I really wanted to make sure that all of the cubes are the best that they can be. So if you already have the cubes, they're still as good as they've always been, and it's up to you whether you want to upgrade or you don't. We're going to make sure that for people that like already have the companions and stuff, that we will try and find some ways to help you use the website without having to buy everything else again. But there'll be options, and so yeah, just wait for the launch and we'll be revealing everything then. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, maybe just hold on to them. You can email us, of course, but we're getting a lot of questions that will be answered if you just wait a few weeks. So probably better to just hold off and just wait.
Someone referred to the current colour cubes as the OG cubes.
The OG cubes. I mean,
I like that.
some of them, in some of our areas, they are no longer available and we're not reprinting. So if you want one of the OG cubes, there's about 100 palettes that are never going to make a new appearance, that have been removed from the previous cubes forever. I mean, they're kind of probably a little, I don't know, I feel silly saying they're collectible, but I'm sure there'll be people that will go out of their way now to buy the original ones because they want those colours that are not going to be in the new ones. There's something different about having a first edition of something, right?
We have, their name is NYX Nix, who said, sorry for being late. We can forgive you, just don't do it again.
All right, see where my picture's at. I already like it. I think it's kind of cool. And all I've done, and that was so quick. We did that in, was that 20 minutes? That's like the fastest thing I've ever coloured. I mean, we're not finished. But given that in these live streams, I have a habit of going to the detail that I never get close to finishing a page, this is really good for this far into this video. So what I've done, this is chaos, but it's that sort of fun pastels with a bit of the darker colours on top. So the darker colours, I've really just roughly done any shadowy bits. I think we covered most of it. There's maybe a little bit under here that we could just, is that the same colour I've already used? Yep. Just pull in a bit more. But see, I'm not worrying about going out of the lines. Just, it's kind of almost a bit inspired by watercolour.
I think going outside the lines sort of went away about 19 minutes ago.
Oh, it's part of the vibe, right?
Relaxing.
Yeah, and this is fun. Colouring like this is fun. Just adding a bit more blue, because actually the blue really pops the shadows, so I'm just throwing some more blue around. But I do feel like this needs something else now. So, time to try these pencils out. Let's have a look. I have not opened them. Where is my openery cutty thingy? I've been terrible with keeping up with comments, so Shane's going to have to read some out to me. Because I'm a bit in the zone, which is a good... See, this has got me in the zone. I started this morning with a migraine and with an aching jaw. And yet, just doing this for 20 minutes, I'm feeling creative now. I love that, because I don't always feel that when I'm doing art. Sometimes I feel more of the pressure of oh no, how can I turn this around? This kind of colouring is kind of fun. So I highly vouch for this new system of colouring outside the lines in what we are dubbing as dopamine colouring. We're claiming it. It's dopamine colouring. It's an adaptation from chaos colouring, but it's dopamine colouring. All right.
Caitlin's asked if you can flip over the card so she can see the back.
My card? You will also... Oh, can I also share with them about... Shane, is it too much if I tell them about the colour names? Oh, it's Glaucus. That's funny. That's really funny. And if you're watching my shorts lately, have we put that one up yet? No. Oh, okay. Don't peek. There's your answer. That's funny. That's the next short that's going up. I challenged
Sarah's
a bunch
just
of
giving everything away.
I challenged a bunch of YouTubers to tell me what colour Glaucus is. So now you know. Okay. The colour names. So I spent... All right, let me go back a step. So the colour names, people said that there was a bit of confusion on the original cards because there would be tan and there'd be two different colours that say tan, but they'd be completely different colours. In reality, the original colours on the original cubes were based on the colours in the colour catalogue. The colour catalogue colours were based on not me trying to go every colour needs a name in every page, but actually, if I was to group these to make them easier to search, I need to group similar colours. So I spent probably I reckon it was 100 hours looking at every single colour from every single palette in the digital catalogue, and I laid them all out and I stared at this. Maybe this is why I have migraines now. I stared at the screen for hours on end, just dragging all the greens together and looking at them and going, no, that green's a bit more blue, that green's a bit more yellow, and then trying to work out where to define the line of okay, this group of greens is together, and then figuring out a name for them. So we had hunter green and forest green and emerald green, but I limited it to, I think it was like 70 colors, so that when you're in that search page on the color catalog, you could see the different colors and click, and that would get you in. So there are a few colors that had like massive variety in them because there was only like 5 of them in the whole catalog, and it wouldn't make sense to split them up into individual categories. Now, when we've been redesigning this whole new system, one of the things I wanted to do was better differentiate the color names. And so I thought, great, I'll go find like a universal color name list and I'll make it a bigger list. That proved to be a really, really, really complicated rabbit hole that I jumped into.
I love when you start these things, you do
Like,
it with the
that'll be
intention of
easy.
like, oh, it'll take me a night, couple of hours, and like 6 weeks later.
This was 2 months. This was 2 months of me just staring at a spreadsheet. I gathered color names from like 20 different online sources. I put them all in a spreadsheet with the hex codes that they all believed they had. And then I sat there and stared at them. And I've got like 50 different versions now of the color beige. And I'm like, so which one is it? Like, which one's the accurate one? And slowly I reduced what was a list of 7,000 colors and slowly tried to get them to at least under 1,000 of like, what do we all agree is actually magenta? What do we all agree is like cameo pink and stuff like that? So slowly found, okay, there are 10 different sources that all say this is Misty Rose. Let's lock it in, which means all the other variations of Misty Rose get ditched, which means we have to find another name for those. This was an insane project. And if you know how much I go into details, I like can't settle for like close enough. So I fully immersed myself into this for 2 whole months.
There's a lot of spreadsheets.
It was every night after work for a very long time. I'd sit in front of the TV and it was my relax at the end of work was to sit and just sort color names for a very, very long time. Ended up with a list of 700 color names and then had to go back and look at actually if I put all of now these colors and match them up to those categories, have I covered the full color spectrum enough with the color names that I chose? Found some extra big gaps. So redid that process of like rematching the palettes, like I think 6 times. That I did, I had the coding that I built for the Lightfast video that helped me to do that. So I wasn't doing the whole dragging the greens by eye again this time. But there was still a bit of like looking at the new groupings going, okay, these have all been grouped as glaucous, but I can very distinctly see 2 different blues there. I should probably try and even split that a bit further. So there was a lot of like, deleting colors that were basically the same color and then adding colors in because there's a big gap. Where it has ended up is a color list of, I think, about 540 colors. And that's all going to be accessible to people as a part of our online thing. Telling too much, don't mute me, Shane. But it also means that now the colors on the cards are far more accurate. They're not going to necessarily match the names of your paint colors and stuff because every brand, honestly, going into the world of color names was almost infuriating because there is no universal list and every brand names them different things and it was just a nightmare. But what it does give us is a better reference that, like, if you look up, say, cameo pink online, you will find a rough collection of colors that averages out to this color. If you find someone that talks about African violet, you're probably going to get closer to this. So it gives us, and if you look up this color on any other card in the cube, they will almost look the exact same color. That was my goal in the end. Most of them you won't be able to distinguish by eye. There'll be slight variations, but that we would have some really distinct color groups. So like, because in reality, you can't name every color because there are millions of colors and that's even just hex codes. I think there's like 2 million different hex codes and hex codes aren't even the visible spectrum. They're just the digital spectrum. And now I'm going into a color theory nerd tangent and I should probably slow down because this is a dangerous rabbit hole for me to go into.
Maybe that's a rabbit hole you can go down in the members part.
Members, after this stream, we have
so
our...
that we can keep doing the pencils.
I'm choking because there's so many things in my head. So, if you want to do more color theory, after this stream, what we usually do is we finish off this stream at 12, which, sorry, that doesn't help because you're all in different time zones, in an hour. We're halfway in, an hour left of this stream. If I manage to finish this early, we might finish up a little bit early. We'll see how we go. But then I take a little like half an hour break. I grab some lunch and stuff. And then we come back and we do a members only extended live stream. So anyone who is a member comes back again. If we haven't finished the coloring, we keep working on what's here. If I manage to finish this today, we can go on a nerdy color theory thing, or we could actually probably grab out one of the pages from a previous stream and have another go at trying to finish it. Like that octopus and the Little Red Riding Hood, both still haven't been finished. So let's see how we go. And I can show you the picture that I was working on for the gift that I was telling you about. So that's all members live stream after this. If you want to stick around, if you're not a member, you can join. You can even just join for like a month and see if you enjoy being a part of the membership. But Silver Plus gets access to our private Discord and gets access to the extended live streams, plus a bunch of other videos that we do just from time to time and secret updates. The members, even before our email list, even before our Facebook group, our members got access to pre-order the cubes. Now,
it's a good time to mention that Caitlin said that you need to remember your coffee because it's not cold yet.
It's at that just warm enough to maybe be a little bit gross stage. I think I'm done on the coffee. This is like a running joke of how far I get into the coffee before it goes cold. I got this far. All that means is that I can handle more coffees in the day. That's my theory. If I only ever drink... Sorry, can I just point out, I think I learned yesterday that not finishing any drink is a little bit of an ADHD thing. I was talking about this with someone from our team, and we're discussing the fact that both of us will drink, like, whether if I get a big coffee, I drink a small coffee's worth and then leave the bottom. But if I get a small coffee, I drink 3/4 of that. It's always just 3/4, no matter the size of the drink.
Someone needs to invent a cup that's got like an acrylic thing that's halfway that looks like coffee, and then you just make half a coffee.
No, but it's the weight of it. I can tell that it's almost done, and for some reason, the weight of... I'm convinced that when there's the last bit of drink left, it tastes different. I'm convinced it's a thing, right? Okay.
This is why we never get through pictures in a live stream.
Yeah, I did all this in 20 minutes, and now we're an hour into the stream, and I still haven't even opened the pencils. So let's open the pencils. Okay, here we are. So these are oil-based. Okay, so I don't know what to expect here. Ooh, they're pretty.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Siri's just interrupting. That's funny. All right. I don't think I need to use it. Let's just see what it says though. So they're oil-based. They smell new. I'm sure that smell will disappear. Soft lead. Some warnings about allergic reactions. Do not swallow the pencil shavings. Good to know. The tip is sharp and may cause cuts or eye injuries. Whew. Okay.
Some serious warnings.
That's the most warnings I've ever seen on a pack of pencils.
Somebody really doesn't want to get sued.
Now, what are our expectations for these? What do we think they're going to feel like? I'm guessing they're going to be more of a polychromos than a Prismacolor, just as a good reference point. I do have some more pencil paper. Ooh, everything's going to fall. There we go. I got some of my Stonehenge paper here, just a little swatch to give me something a bit nicer than the marker paper to actually test these pencils on. And I probably will sharpen them first. Where's my sharpener gone? Here. All right. The packaging's nice. They're just they're a nice weight. They're a bit light, but interesting. Hard to tell until we start. They smell like new pencils. There's like the wood and varnish smell that just...
I wonder if you ever made like a scented candle collab. You could make like a new pencil smell.
Oh no, it's not necessarily a nice smell, but it's definitely a new pencil smell. All right, first, let's see. There is more under here. Oh, that's actually a really strong smell in that second layer. It will fade though. Like it's literally that new pencil smell. It's not like I did a pencil sharpener video probably, 2 years ago now? And this was one of the 2 favorites that I said was in my video. And I have only replaced it once since, and it is my favorite. The other one that I mentioned in the video, I've lost. The little Tea-Gull, they do not last a long time. So while it was my favorite, it also has a very short life, and I've replaced it 3 times, and I got sick of it because it doesn't fill much. This is the one that I now go to. So there you go, everyone. Dahl, and also, what's the other brand? M&R make an identical one. It's exact same. They're my favorite sharpener. I haven't tried electric sharpeners though. So me that sharpens a lot of pencils, never tried an electric sharpener. I feel like there's something to be said for that.
Does that pencil sharpener like hold the pencil in there securely?
Yeah. Like the point of this, do you want me to show the inside? Is this a tangent that we're interested in, or are we just getting like carried away now? Just quickly, this is like a different kind of sharpener. Here's the inside. It's actually like a ton of really, really smart, really, really fine blades that sharpens it slowly. And so it's really good for fragile pencils. It's much more gentle on the pencils than a hand sharpener. Okay, pencils. So, first impressions. I mean, I should probably try this in a few different papers because these are really nice, but it might also just be the paper. They pretty good. It's a hard pressure like. Not bad, not bad. Oh, hang on. Is that right? That is. I thought the lead was broken. Now, the thing about oil pencils or oily pencils. Now, all pencils do have wax and oil, so you can't get too caught up on wax versus oil when it comes to different pencil leads. But the biggest difference, if they're advertised as oily, is that they're probably better to layer rather than try to force the blend by pushing them together. So like this bit here where I've colored and I've tried to sort of push it over the top, see how it hasn't blended? Whereas if you did that with Prismacolor, they would still kind of mush the color together. Like you have a bit more flexibility. It kind of helps you with the blending. Whereas this one, you need to do what I did up here and go light layers. I do feel like these are quite crumbly. You can see the amount of crumbs here where I've put pressure on, but even here where I'm not putting a lot of pressure on, there's actually a lot of crumbs coming off this. They feel pretty nice. It's sort of hard to judge them against some of the other ones that I've used. Sweet Haven 5, are you coming back into our membership? Amazing.
I get to do the new member button.
Yeah. She was one of our first members a while ago, and we've missed you in the Discord. It'll be really cool to have you back. So you can blend, but like most oily pencils, blending is not their main skill. It's more layering. Now, I'd be curious to try these on just... That's a lot of... Can you see all of that, like... all that crumbling? That's a lot of crumbling. Let me give you a comparison. Let's just try and keep that over there. Let's compare them to... What should we compare them to? Prismacolor is the wrong kind of pencil to compare them to. I've got some polychromos here. Let me show you how much the polychromos crumble, because that's a bit more performance-wise what these are comparable to. I think no, that's, hold on. I do have a few polychromos in here, I think. Here we go, here's one.
What was the brand name of the sharpeners again?
The sharpener, let me type it in. Dahl, it's the 133. There you go. So this is another oil. This is kind of the standard for oil pencils, right? So when I press lightly, there's no crumbs. And if I press really hard, there's a few crumbs. Now, there's still a little bit, but look at that compared to that. So there is a big difference in how much that's crumbed. Like, this has hardly anything in comparison to that for what was similar sort of pressure.
What's a good thing that you would use to get rid of the crumbs after you've put them all over the page like that?
Usually some kind of soft brush Actually, not even a soft brush, just a brush. I think some people actually have like a firm brush that works quite well.
Didn't you use a makeup brush?
Yeah, but here it is. I use this. This is... Shane, explain to everyone why this makeup brush that I actually really liked is no longer used as a makeup brush.
Because you had it as a makeup brush, and once when you were vacuuming the bathroom, you accidentally sucked it up the vacuum cleaner.
Sorry, who accidentally sucked it up in the vacuum cleaner?
You did. I did.
Shane sucked up my makeup brush in the vacuum cleaner. How is that even possible?
And then what did I
Look
do?
how big this thing is.
What did I do?
He bought me.
I went straight out to the shop and got you a new one.
Yeah, this one was actually quite expensive. And it's still really, so soft. It's such a good brush, but it has become... this is way softer than the new one I have. I'm sorry. I need to buy myself a new one that's as nice as this. This is so gentle. After I got rescued from the vacuum cleaner and cleaned, it has now become my pencil brush. And I think it works wonderfully to get rid of all of those things. Because it's so soft. I wish you could feel how soft this is. This is softer than Moscow.
There's a comment, wait, what, a man vacuuming? Lol.
Oh. All right. Now see this, when I layered the polychromos, it's a similar sort of thing here. Because again, it's that oil pencil compared to like the Prismacolor. Because I've pushed quite hard. That's why these aren't blending. If you actually layer them carefully, like over here, then they blend all right.
There's a lot of people confused out as to how I could have sucked that thing up a vacuum.
I was confused too.
It's because at the time I wasn't using like the main vacuum thing. It's got like a hose thing with like a
I think he was trying to vacuum around it, and he underestimated our vacuum cleaner's suction.
Yes. Our vacuum sucks.
It sucks. Yeah, so here I've you can see here the same thing where actually, and this is good paper as well, so I'll try this on some cheap paper in a minute. You can still blend oil pencils that aren't like mainly wax. The Prismacolor are more waxy. Some people prefer some prefer the other. These are Ohuhu Halawa, is that how we say that? Halawa? They are more like an oil pencil than a wax pencil, even though they probably have both in them. So a lot of the brands coming out of China in the last few years have been the oil-based ones. I'm just trying to think some comparable ones would be probably like your Couleur, your Brut Funa. Just trying to think what else. Now to be clear in this review, I'm not trying these back to back. So this is purely just off the top of my head of remembering those pencils. I would say if you like your Brut Funa kind of feel, you'll probably like these. Without sort of putting them through all my tests and trying them like side by side, it's kind of hard to say which I'd prefer. So this is not a like love them, hate them kind of thing. It's more just a curiosity of like, okay, they work. They're quite colorful. The colors are very vibrant. They do have a good range here. Whether you need to buy them if you already have some of those other brands, I mean, that's up to you. I know some people buy the pencils they need and some people just like to collect pencils, and both are valid ways to shop. I think if you've got other oil pencils and you're trying to work out if you need these, you probably don't. But if you just like trying more pencils, they're worth a shot. That's why that's not one of them. Yeah, look, they're not bad. So I didn't try them. Hang on, I said I was going to try them on some normal paper though. Whoop. So that's on the Stonehenge White. This is like it's a cotton paper. Yeah, 100% cotton. So that's like a really high quality paper. If I just get like a normal, where's my normal paper? I did have some here, but I've put it away. Here we go. This is a printed just normal paper version. So for context, what's this? The polychromos? So the polychromos are a lot more vibrant on just the normal paper. Actually, they're not more vibrant than that paper. What am I talking about? They're more vibrant than they would be if they were, sorry, just ignore everything I just said. I'm not making sense. So these are actually pretty nice on the normal paper. They feel a little bit waxier than the polychromos, and I don't know if we can get a close up. Shane's just run to help our youngest child who's home on school holidays. So there is a bit of a difference here in this one does have a bit of that, not a wax bloom, but like a wax buildup. Or maybe like it's an oil, I don't know what it is. But on top, there's like a slight difference in, just trying to see if I can get you to see that. I'll get you a close up in a sec. There's a bit of a weird finish on top compared, like there's like an extra layer of something. I think it might even wipe away with a tissue, I'm not sure. Just trying to see if I can get you that. Can't really see it, to be honest. It's just in different light. You can see like a bit of a slight, which is the same, I think, on some of those other sort of affordable ranges as well. Yeah, you can't see that at all. What you can see is the lines from this grid underneath. Either way, they're good pencils. They're all right. They're sort of, I think, on par with like your Crayola and your Brute Funa and some of those ones. Now, the real question is, are they going to layer on my picture? I reckon they will, but then this is marker paper, so I don't know. And generally, if I'm wanting to layer, oh yeah, look at that, they're fine. Generally, if I'm wanting to layer over markers, I would probably go for something more like the Prismacolors. But just because of they just tend to build a bit easier on other things. But these actually look like they're going to work. So at this point, I don't know, I'm still kind of thinking I like the idea of just going random. But again, sort of like really trying to build out those shadows with the blues. But just still that bit of that, like instead of like perfect shading, I'm just kind of doing like a scribble sort of shade. Just again to kind of go into that mixed media look a bit. Shane, are there any comments that I've missed? Because I haven't been able to keep up today.
I'm still seeing a lot of comments about the vacuum cleaner.
What have we started?
Yes. There is a lot of chat happening.
All right. What else? What other colours have I got? Where's my colour palette gone? Probably under, I'm getting messy. I'm losing control here. All right, here we go. Let's get back some of this color. Yeah. So I'm actually thinking too, I might even just put a bit more of these lighter colors around the edges of some of these leaves, just to kind of clash with a bit with the colors underneath. Again, this works because we've got that limited color palette.
Good question in the chat. If you had no pencils, what would you recommend to start with?
If you can't, so there is two very big different types of pencils, and that is, yeah, kind of like the oil feeling or the wax feeling. It really depends on, like, what you've probably grown up with as a kid is probably a bit closer to the oil feeling, in which case something like this would actually work quite well. Whereas if you're interested in doing more of those sort of really good blending and stuff like that, I actually think that the Prismacolor are a really good starting point. You just have to be aware they are a very soft pencil. Now, when I say starting point, they're also still what I use now by choice more than anything, because they are really nice to work with, but they're extremely soft, so you kind of have to just be prepared for that. That they are a lot softer than what a lot of people expect. And I know when I first tried them, I didn't actually like them because they were so soft. But actually these wouldn't be a bad set of first markers. Right, this is not really doing anything because so that's the thing with, like, if I use a wax pencil here, I'd be able to do some lighter colors back on top of the dark colors, which is not something you can usually do with pencils. Whereas if I'm doing darker colors, then I seem to be able to use these as well. So I think I'm going to keep working with some of the darker ones first. And at this point, I'm kind of just focusing on around the edges and stuff, almost like re-outlining some of these areas roughly, but with these bright colors. And then we'll come with probably some paint pens to sort of just add some final touches.
Did you see that Derwent drawing pencils will have a new larger set?
Oh, really? I think I've got some Derwent drawing pencils, but haven't really done much with them. All right. There's a lot of colour happening here. It's looking pretty messy. I think it's kind of fun. Are you seeing the vision?
What's the difference between blending and layering?
So layering will often do blending as a part of, like, so when I'm defining the difference, I'm talking about blending where if you, this is not the right paper to demo this on, but in theory, if you put two colors next to each other and you're trying to blend those two together, there are just different techniques to do that, right? Like overlapping them and stuff like that. Some pencils, you can just push them and they'll merge together. When I talk about layering, it is one of the ways that you can blend, but layering, I'm specifically talking about using a bit of like lighter pressure. I'm on the edge of the paper, so this is a bad example. And then doing lighter pressure with a different color, right, over the top in 2 layers. That's why it's layering. So layering, if you're going from light to dark, can be a good way to blend 2 colors with pencils, but it's not the only way. It is the best way, in my opinion, if you're wanting to blend 2 colors, to slowly do what I'm doing here, where I'm basically going from dark to light and then dark to light, but I'm overlapping the 2.
Have we just gone into mini art lesson?
Mini art lesson. We need like a little logo for that. Mini art lesson. We should make something. So that's how you blend. Different ways of blending. Speaking of, those 2 colors look really pretty together. So I might actually do some of that in here, of actually just some little blending from one to the other. I might be a bit too strong compared to everything else I've done on this page.
Rachel MM said that it's looking amazing.
Okay.
The Ohuhu markers that you have, are they predominantly pastel colours?
So I've got the big 320, 300, I don't know, 300 and something set, but I do also have a pastel set and they're all mixed up together. So that's why I seem to have a lot of pastels, because once upon a time I ended up with a pastel set. But they're not only pastel. All right. I feel like I'm just darkening some of these shadows a little bit more.
It looks very holographic.
It does kind of, the combination of these colors does give it a bit of a holographic vibe, doesn't it? It's hard for me to still leave the white. I have a habit of like just going all in and destroying all the white. I need to keep some. And that's, I think, why it looks holographic, is because of the white that's still on it. So I need to not lose all of the white. But I'll also bring back some of the lightness with some paint pens in a minute. But just note here, like, yeah, I'm kind of thinking through what I'm doing, but the point in this is that it is pretty loose and random and not really following any particular rules. I am, I'm not totally just random, like I'm thinking about where I put each color just based on, oh, that looks like I'm kind of just deciding as I go, like, oh, that spot there could be a bit darker, that spot there could look a bit.
Can you blend with the white pencil?
You can. However, the Prismacolor white pencil in particular is really good for that. And I usually have a spare one around because even whatever brand you use, it's sort of the best for that. And right now I can't find it. the thing about the white pencil is it's going to lighten the color because you're mixing. So here's this white pencil, which is not going to do much because oil pencils. If you're going to do it with oil pencils, you kind of need to put them down first. But if I force this enough over the top, like if I burnish it with the white, yes, it will help blend the colors together a little bit in many cases. Or like here, it'll blend from the dark to light quite well. But you're ultimately mixing in another color. You're mixing in the white. So it'll create a bit of a pastel look, which actually kind of might work here because we're so much pastel. I don't know, it's not really doing enough. The Prismacolor white would probably do more, again, because it can, the wax allows it to sit on top of what's already here, whereas these pencils won't really do that. But I think it's time to move to some paint pens. The part of this that I actually find the hardest is not overdoing it, but like worrying about the perfectionism. Like choosing to leave it loose for me is something that I'm trying to get myself to do more because I love the look of this loose and it'd be so easy for me to keep adding and therefore undo all the work that I did in loosening it up in the first place. Now, I don't have Ohuhu paint pens, but I do have, I've bought some Artex and then they gave me some more. And then I have the Corinne Pigment Real Brush, which I believe is their paint pen. I think, I might be wrong, but I think it was Corinne's paint pens that actually kind of started where this whole trend of all these brands doing the brush tips. These ones I believe though are actually, oops, there goes my card, are actually like a real brush, right? So that might not be as good for this. That'd be good if you wanted to sort of wet them. I mean, it actually might, you know what? This could work because it's the rough look. So if I embrace that roughness, it might actually be a fun addition to what's already this rough picture.
Kat has asked, does the Prismacolor blending pencil work on other brands of pencils?
Yeah, generally. I use the Prismacolor white more than anything else. These are mixed up. I don't know, I might do a little bit of this and then just change my mind, but I at least want to see if we just dabble a bit just in the darkest areas. Probably leave it at that because I'll overdo it very quickly. The white, and this white's not working how I come back to that. Some pink.
Someone in the comments who has a really long name has said, hello Cat Art Illustrations, your video on the swatch decks is awesome. Is that the one where she sets it on fire?
Kat did set a fake swatch decks on fire. She didn't actually set the swatch decks on fire. Kat wouldn't do that to me. All right. These acrylic markers are the ones that oh no, they're different. Ah, okay. I have a few different types of... Okay, these are the ones I bought, but these are the ones they gave me. These are the ones that I've been using in the last videos that I really like. I don't know why I also have these. Like, just, I don't know. So what I'm thinking here is just kind of like coming back on some of the edges. But that's not working as well as I wanted. So smudge that in. Maybe I will just use these newer ones. The thing is I'm missing some. I've put them somewhere. So I don't even have the white here. It's like gone. Because I used it on something else and I didn't put it away. Definitely my own fault. Let's at least just get some of these other colors in. So these are now a paint pen. So they're gonna be opaque on whatever I put them on. So I need to be careful not to overdo them. But I can also use these to like put some dots and stuff around or just add a few lines over the edges of the objects. Again, no specific plan. Just kind of outlining some of the sections a little bit. Could even do some dots off the edge. Dots are my go-to of just like to make things look magical no matter what. I do really like this new trend of brush tips on paint markers. I really like them. You could also, if you want mixed media looking, just like do a few just scribbles. Just keep it not too many. See how that's just added like an element of just something totally different. This is where I very quickly overdo it. I'll leave it at that. But I do want a lighter colour. I have this lighter blue, but that's not, maybe that'll help a little bit. Oh yeah, okay. I'm just going to overdo some of those same blue areas, almost like as if it's highlights, but with no like actual direction to the lights. Yeah, that's kind of fun. Maybe overdo these same dots again. I do want a white. I need to find a white pen. I think that's kind of my missing piece. And a pink. See, where's my pink gone? That's the purple. That's not what I'm looking for, but... Because they always feel like a splash of light on the rim of them, even though the light's coming from all different directions. There's no, like, actual system.
What is your all-time favourite paint marker? Do any exist that don't randomly leak?
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out. So I've got a video that I want to do coming up soon, and I want to compare them all because you'll know how much I like comparing stuff. At the moment, these, I'm really liking these lately. They've kind of been my go-to a few times. They also have SimTap. SimTap are they called? I don't like them as much though. Here they are. These are the SimTap ones, also by Artex. Artex have like 4 different varieties, which is really confusing, but I don't know what the appeal to these is because, well, at least I can use the white. These are a pump one, but you only seem to be able to pump them like once and then the pump just stops. So like usually when you pump to load, and these ones tend to come out in a big, literally that. Can you see that? A big glob, right? They overpump really quickly. So I don't know if I like them. I'm going to use the white for this because I don't know where my other white is. But that for me is like really frustrating. Okay, this is the part where I'm going to be a bit more careful and strategic with what I'm doing. Because this white, I think, is probably going to be the last thing I do to this page. So I want to strategically think through. I kind of want this to be highlights, but it'll also be a bit of the definition on a lot of these. So I kind of want to stick to like one edge on each of them and a bit more carefully sort of do that edge. So I'm not going to go around the whole leaf. I'm kind of just doing that same edge on all of them. I don't know if this is, I might change my mind once I do a bit more. It's the current plan. I don't know, it already kind of looks like too much. I just want to make sure you can see the leaves with everything I've done.
I think I might have accidentally turned your microphone off then. Sorry.
Okay, well that's okay because I said what I was doing and then I probably changed the plans instantly anyway.
No, I didn't. You're all good.
Well, I thought you got me out of that. No.
My bad.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, as soon as I said I might only do a few bits, it's sort of like, oh, no, I might just here as well. So pretty much ignore everything I said about only doing one direction. I'm just doing what I want.
Maria has asked in the comments, can anyone tell me what I did to cause the purple #1 thing next to her name?
You commented a lot. It's some new thing. I don't really know the point of it. It's basically like...
#1 fan.
Yeah, you're number one in the comments today is what that means. I can't turn it off, so embrace it. Take your crown. You get a crown.
Caitlin gets a number 3.
All right. Oh, I kind of like how this is coming out now. What do we think? Is there anything else that needs?
I feel like it's the kind of thing that look good to like cut out and use like in another art piece as well.
Potentially.
Maybe.
Should I outline the whole thing to help it pull off the messy background a bit? What do you think? What does everyone think? Outline? I do like how it's separating the tips of the leaves that are sneaking out from under each other because a lot of them kind of disappeared. So we're sort of highlighting them again. I mean, the background's pretty light, so it's not, doesn't need to pull out of it that much.
Have you got a neon pink for highlights?
Ooh. That would be cool. I do need that actually, I reckon. I could just use a highlighter. I've done that before. Literally just get a highlighter and push it over some of the whites once it's dry. It's definitely more art piece than colouring page at this point. But I like that. For me, that's more exciting than just another colouring page. Some of the white's soaking in, so I have to like give it another hit.
Nessa, one of our members, has said a bokeh effect with pastels would be cool. Is it? How do you say that word?
I think bokeh is correct.
Bokeh. There you go.
I mean, I kind of don't know that I want to take a, like, I see what you're saying, but I also feel like because this is so heavy with colour, I actually like how it's just kind of rough. I mean, you probably can't see it that well on the camera as well, how, like I could just extend the outside a little bit with the colour that's already there. Or at least add a bit more shadow. Because at the moment there's not really any shading behind it. The shading's all on it. Otherwise I'm pretty happy with how this has come out. What was the thought, Shane, on the outline?
I don't think there has been thoughts other than people spamming the comments with emojis.
No, I might not. What I might do though is just get back to one of our darker alcohol markers, even though we've gone on top with everything else.
There's a few comments asking what Kmart is from people who are not in Australia. And yes, Kmart is like a version of Target, but probably a little bit sort of cheaper stuff. And department stores in America are massive. Like they have everything, whereas in Australia it's a lot sort of smaller. So I would say that a Kmart's like Target, but like doesn't have any of the food stuff, and it's about like a third of the size.
I think Kmart used to be in America. So this is not quite fluoro, but it's pretty bright. There's words. So I'm actually just going to do this alcohol marker again on top of some of these white areas, just because now there's a lot of white. Let's just add a splash of that highlight on it again. No rules, just layers.
You could do a dark blue outline or navy. And there's also a comment, when is the black swatch decks coming?
I want to work on that, but we've got a few other things in the works at the moment, so it's probably not this year. We haven't picked the paper for it yet. Still a little while away.
Maybe after the cubes, the companion, the line art library.
Yeah, there's a few things we've committed to, including that actually, that yeah, we need to work on. It is on the list. Just the list is also kind of long. All right. What do we think? I'm trying to work out, does it need someone to pull it off the background a bit more? Like even just like, yeah, like an outline, or does that, does I don't know. Katrina, thank you so much for the super chat. Kmart is like a Walmart and a lower grade of Target. Yes, yes it is.
I saw a comment that said Kmart's like Walmart but civilized.
Oh dear. Oh, I don't know. What does it need? Is it just, it doesn't quite feel finished, but I can't pick it. Like, I don't know. The background and the foreground is all very much the same. Do I need to go completely different at this point and make the whole black background black?
You know what you could do?
What?
You've still got that coffee, yeah?
Oh, don't spill coffee over the whole thing. I don't know. Like, I don't want to break it at this point. I'm just adding some shadows under some of these areas that might help.
The mention of Kmart has really like triggered a massive flurry of comments about Kmart, Walmart, Target. I actually have a shirt on now that I got from Target in the US. My Dr. Pepper.
There we go. I feel like that helped. I just added a bit of purple, but not everywhere, just more in the shadowy spots. I feel like that helps. I gotta stop like the perfectionist in me at this point, just trying to, maybe just adding some.
Rhonda has suggested that you anchor the bottom because it's floating.
Yeah, I think that's what was bothering me. Is this more of a darker? What if we do like... That was a bit extreme, but all right, I'll fix that.
Where did you get the image from that you're doing the colouring on?
This is from Vibrant Wilds, which is my colouring book. And when you buy it, you get the digital version as well, which is what I've printed out here. So you can print on your own paper. If all else fails, just add more dots. It's my go-to.
Sarah has said that maybe the lightest leaves are getting lost.
Yeah, maybe. I'm just going to make like a bit of a messy floor to this whole thing. How's that? Does that help? Really dark. So was this the dark paint pen? No, that was the middle one. This one. No, that's not as dark as I thought. Where's that dark colour gone?
Caitlin said it's delightfully chaotic and she's filled with dopamine.
Great. That's what we're going for. I'm losing things. My desk is getting really messy now. But where did that blue go? Or is that an alcohol marker? Oh, there it is. That's what I wanted. Now that I've put the paint down. There we go. Dopamine colouring. I think these last few little shadows just to try and give the leaves a bit more emphasis. I think I can call it done. Do you think we pulled off dopamine colouring as a concept? And do you think it's something that watching me do it you feel like you could copy? That's, I guess, the two questions. Because the point in this was it was supposed to be fun and liberating and free, and that you feel that when you see it. And I think I enjoyed it. I know there's a few bits I'm sitting here like squinting looking at it, but that's just me. That's just my process. I actually really like how that...
I like trying it.
Sorry?
Almost feel like I want to try it.
We should get Shane. There's our members extended version. What do we do? Should we do that? What do you think? Should we get Shane to try it now that we've seen it? Because Shane doesn't colour. So if Shane can do it, everyone can do it.
There's an overwhelming no in the comments.
I don't see any no's in the comments. I think that would be a really fun stream, Shane. And it's members only, so the pressure's off. And if anyone else wants to see it, then they have to join the membership. Yes, I see yeses. I see lots of yeses.
Aren't you wanting people to join the membership?
M has said yes 3 times.
Everyone's going to cancel.
I'm going to count the yeses. We've got yes, fun. Yes, Shane needs to do it. Yes, yes.
I'm going to start a poll to make it definitive.
Yes, yes. Yes, yes for Shane. Yes. Shane, what would it take? Would it take cat emojis? Would it take super stickers? Would it take more yeses? He's going to try and rig a poll that only gives us no as an option. I already see this happening. Someone said, Lady Ledunham, I support Shane and his independence. Yes, the answer is yes.
I've started a poll for people to give a definitive answer.
Oh, what a shame the poll ended and no one said no.
Actually, definitely no was an overwhelming unanimous
100% with 2 votes. One of those, which was Shane. Kat says she'll Uber you whatever drinks you need, Shane. You're also being told that your poll is rude. Okay, serious question. Shane, are you up for this? Because we're not into bullying here. We're into giving people choices. I finished my art today. So I think I should get some credit from Shane that I completed an art piece in a single live stream, even with distractions, that I don't have to finish this now in the members live stream. So the door is open for other things. So Shane, what's the plan?
I will join the live stream if you choose me something easy, and only if people actually join the members, because I don't want to push people away. But Will has also asked for you to hold up the colouring page that you just did.
He wants a photo. I'm gonna have to unstick it. Okay, so the commitment is that for our members, you actually have to all show up for that, not just like Shane comes and there's one person on. So if our members are happy and supportive and willing to jump on the stream and work through it with Shane and be encouraging, then Shane will join me for a piece. And as Maria has pointed out, because you're not an art pro, it could actually be really encouraging to everyone else to see what you accomplish with this new dopamine colouring style. That tape was stronger than I thought. It's ripped the pages off. All right, here is the final piece. So I really like this. I think I'm going to frame this one actually. I really like this. Look, Em just joined the membership to see, although I'm sorry, but the bronze members don't actually get the live streams. But that's the kind of, there's a lot of people saying that they would actually really love to do this. So I do believe there's an option now where members can gift memberships to other members, but I don't know how it works. So, but we do have, look, we literally have other people joining. Well, on that note, I am going to call it 10 minutes early on this because we need to now clean this up so that Shane can join the stream as well. It is Silver Plus members. I can see Aussie Crafters coming. See? You got support coming around. People, there you go, Shane. See, people are literally joining our membership to see you colour. That's the power of this. That's the, it is important to see, yeah, you're going to do great.
Do I need to bring up the gift that Aussie Crafter sent me a while ago to get through the stream that only she will know?
If it was alcohol, you can't drink alcohol on stream, Shane. You can do it. No, Shane's keen. If he doesn't want to do it, he would have bailed already. He's
I will do it.
It was his idea. Just saying. All right, so we're going to finish up this stream now, but thank you so much for joining. I would love to see you guys have got this as well. So if you want to try, this particular page is from Vibrant Wilds, but you can do this with any page. I think my advice would be, for your first one, pick something that would work as a pattern even if the colors are wrong. So like there is no green in this picture and these are leaves. Flowers and leaves are probably the most forgiving, or just general patterns. Things like people could still work, but like be prepared for a slight challenge. Oh, Jerry is coming to silver as well. See, more people going to join us for our next stream. We'll jump back on in, it'll be 40 minutes, a little bit over half an hour. So yeah, 40 minutes from now, we'll jump back on after we've had a bit of a quick break and clean up. And yeah, for our Silver Plus members, you can join us and we are going to take Shane through the dopamine colouring process. Thanks for joining me.